All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I am Scott Shelly, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for joining us here today. This is it. Last time we're going to see each other until we get to tomorrow. So let's make sure that we give you everything you need to know going into the close, and then what we might do tonight, and then maybe how we might, open up things tomorrow morning. But 1 o'clock in 15 minutes exactly, 1 Central, 2 Eastern. It's the Cow Guy Close. I want you to show up for that. That's going to be good. We'll do a fast, informative, and fun deep dive into some of the things we talk about on this show. So make sure you be there. It's all good. Let's take a look at corn. What's happening in that corn market? So far, corn's up 4.25 cents in that East market to $6.85. Even tried to get up to that $7 level. $6.91.5 was the high, but we'll take it, right? 4.25 was also the change on the day in March. That we're up 4.25 to $6.91.75. So there you go. That's a decent corn board. I would say it's healthy, but it's also, I'm sure, getting helped by a little bit of that crude oil trade higher. Soybeans, what are we doing there? 10.5 cents higher in that NOVA contract. 13.84.5 is last, making a run towards 14. We got a nickel away earlier today. Jan's up 10.25 cents to 13.94.25. Let's talk about the Chicago wheat. The wheat in Chicago, what's going on there? 3.25 cents lower in that D's contract. 9.0875 is last. Well, March is down 2.75 cents to 9.2225. Moving right along, as they say, the hard red wheat in Kansas City up a nickel. D's is up to 9.9375. We've got March right behind it, up a nickel as well to 9.90.5. All right, let's see what we've got in the spring wheat. Spring wheat's a little bit different. It's still higher, 3 cents higher. D's to 9.83. March is up 4.25 cents to 9.90 even. All right, and then lastly, this has been the one that's been higher today. It's real strong. All close to limit up. D's all the way out to July, but D's is 366 points higher to 87.86. But March, May, and July had all been limit up one of the last times we went. Let's bring back in, that's cotton, by the way, in case you didn't know, Ted Seifried, Zaner Ag Hedge in Chicago. Ted, thanks for being on the show. All right.
Man, thanks for having me.
There's loads going on out there. Where would you start if you were me?
Yeah, I'm sure you've had a lot of people talking about it all day, but this is a risk-on day, right? And you look at a big turnaround in the stock market over the last couple of days, outside reversal higher day in the Dow yesterday, getting the follow through to the upside today. Again, a lot of pressure on the dollar the last couple of days, challenging some shorter term moving averages, making people kind of question whether the highs in the dollar, the lows in for stocks, the lows in for crude oil. I don't know. Technically speaking, you needed to see a bounce in some of these things, or in the case of the dollar, cool off the highs just a little bit. I don't know if the overall trend in all of these things has changed. And in the meantime, when you see the risk on buying that are happening in the grains in particular, you think it's nice, and you've taken back some of the losses from Friday on the soybeans, and yeah, okay. But are we going to start to rally? Now, there's a lot of people talking about the seasonality of how grains kind of rally the next 3 weeks, and the soybeans in particular. And to that, I'm going to say, okay, I get that. However, we are well behind on harvest at this point. There's still a lot of cash pressure that has to happen. And with Argentina really taking all of our exports from the month of September, we really need to see those exports get back on track before you can get terribly excited. And I continue to watch the river issues and the forecast going forward. It doesn't look like that river is going to be, it's not going to get any help anytime soon if the current forecast verifies. So I think that's a bigger problem that we're not really paying a whole lot of attention to. Sure, we're seeing it in the news and, we're talking about it a little bit, but we're really paying more attention to, look at the stocks. Risk on day.
That's always
if you take that risk on away, I get a little worried about what might happen here in the short term. But,
I agree.
We'll see.
I agree. All right, stay right there. We're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come right back and talk with Ted Seifried from Zaner Ag Hedge after these messages. All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. Let's jump in and take a look at the cattle prices, live cattle. Cow Guy likes live cattle. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on here. Well, there's not a lot going on. Deese is down 50 cents to 147.52. That's 12 cents off the lows. So let's just say it's trading weak going into the close, but it has been kind of like this all day. Feb's off 22 cents to 151.32. Let's take a look at what's happening over in the feeders. Feeders are lower, not quite a buck lower yet, but say Nova's off 82 cents to 175.22. Jan's off 97 cents to 176.05. All right, and then if we move over to see what's going on with that lean hog market, lean hogs are the one taking it on the chin today. We've got a $3 loss in Deese, $3.22 lower to 74.50, while Feb's off $2.47 to 77.62. Let's bring back in Ted Seifried from Zaner Ag Hedge. Ted, thanks for sticking around. Anything really stick out at you when we look at these livestock prices?
Yeah, oof to hogs. The reversal higher yesterday, we kind of took that away in a hurry. At least we're not completely falling apart. But yeah, I mean, you really don't like what you're seeing on the hogs chart. The best I think we can say is that we're trying to carve out a longer term bottom here. So maybe we have to trade this range a little bit longer, which is a disappointment after the market looked like it wanted to break out to the upside after yesterday. I think the maybe even slightly bigger disappointment for me is the cattle market. I mean, look at all of the strength that you're seeing in the equity markets. The feel good markets. Like, hey, we're okay to go to the grocery store and spend a bunch of money on some nice cuts of steak.
Maybe
we gained $1 trillion back in the stock market.
Right.
Let's go spend it. But we're not getting that. That risk off day is not carrying over to the cattle market. So that's a bit disappointing.
Right. All right. Well, maybe it's trying to tell us something. Who knows? We'll keep that in mind. Put a mental note by it. Little yellow sticky. All right. Really appreciate you coming on. Ted Seifried from Chicago Zaner Ag Hedge. Thanks for being on the show. Ted, we're going to bring it back to Nashville so I can throw it back to Suzanne.